the whole Venezuela thing. And I know we probably shouldn't dwell on it forever because I know we talked about it a lot on PKN. But what are your thoughts, Hutch? I'm interested.
I don't know. I'm at a point where like my chat gets pissed at me sometimes because I'm like pretty zen about everything. Like once he won, I was like, all right, another 4 years. And so I can't say I'm surprised. I understand that Democrats, I think, do need to be a little bit careful in terms of how they respond to this, because like I predicted that approval for this operation would probably inch up like it did in Iran. Like initially the Iran strikes were slightly unpopular. And then after it was obvious that we just fucking dominated them.
Got away with it.
Got it. You know, like a lot of people just like that kind of like, we're fucking America, you know? And so it kind of taps into kind of jingoism and that sort of thing. And so I don't know. I think it's I mean, you're super anti-interventionist, right, Taylor? No, not on this
I'm anti-intervention in situations that don't benefit the U.S. So like Afghanistan, Pakistan,
Ukraine,
Iran, Iraq, Ukraine, Syria, Libya, Yemen,
Israel.
Intervening with all our money we give them in Israel, Nigeria, like all the things that have happened. Like Venezuela at least has a point because it's in our hemisphere and it was a stronghold for China. China was building military installations there. At least we have a tangible benefit there.
All that other shit Russian was like systems that were Chinese. Behalf.
Oh, I thought it was Russian anti-air.
Oh, Chinese anti-air.
Oh, it was Chinese anti-air.
Yeah, I watched a couple of like military like combat YouTube channels today do their breakdown analysis. Do you know that they had a 30-man Cuban special forces team protecting Maduro?
Yeah, because he was cowed.
Do you know that they're all
Cuba
dead today?
China.
You know they're all fucking dead. Like that's that fucking flag saluting America shit. When you tell me that these guys were so good at what they do that they went in with rifles and killed 30 guys and none of them got shot. Like,
yeah, seems like we could do the
take the COD world champs and put them against the four of us. We'll get a kill, boys.
There was an element to it where like I was watching it. And I did have a moment where I was just I suspect probably all of us had a moment that was similar. That was like, Jesus Christ, like. How fucking sophisticated are our intelligence systems? How fucking sophisticated are our military infrastructure? Like the fact that we can just go into a country of 30 million people, fly into the capital, do these like precision strikes, like that level of sophistication in the intelligence was like
it's wild. It was
scary. It was like holy
good,
shit.
But I'm not surprised. I always assumed we could do that.
I didn't know we could do this. Like I saw pictures of the barracks we got before and after, and I found them because I was going through Venezuelan Twitter, and so everything's translated from Spanish, and they were all raving about how they're like, America is so sophisticated they didn't even blow up a tree. And it shows the before and after of the barracks, and it's surrounded by trees. They didn't hit a single tree. They destroyed just the barracks. Like that's the level of surgical precision the U.S. military is capable. If anything, this event made me realize, like, I always thought like China was a little bit behind us, Russia, behind us a bit more than China. This seems like we are so far above everyone.
We don't know how they turn the lights out, and that's the most impressive part.
If anything, it's comforting. It means American global hegemony will last.
I thought you didn't like that though. I feel like my head's spinning a little bit.
We've had laser guided bombs and munitions that can go down a chimney since the Gulf War, and probably before that, but we showed them off in the Gulf War.
Top Gun Maverick, bro.
But the way they turned off the power in Caracas is still a mystery that people are just speculating about. I
thought it was confirmed that they did malware. I thought but that's what I read in the initial reporting is that we installed malware in there.
Trump said it was due to a certain expertise we have. And then he credited Cybercom, Spacecom, and several other agencies. So
all that shit is there's no way we're getting the real answer for how they handled that. They're not even going to give a thread. Maybe
I find it believable that Trump gave away a secret.
Yeah, he's not that.
I don't think
for Trump.
He knows enough about how we did it.
He didn't say.
Surely you guys have an issue with him I mean, this feels like more than just like strategic advantage. We're talking about essentially conquest. You know, we're talking about like
Panama.
we're talking about like seizing their oil reserves. Are you guys okay with that?
I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Does that mean that you would be okay with doing the same thing in Greenland? Because we would similarly benefit, right?
So here's the difference. So what we've done,
we just build stuff there. We don't need it.
So first of all, we've done this before. We did this in Panama to Noriega. We did this exact same like playbook to Noriega in Panama in 1990. George H.W. Bush kidnapped him with a military/DEA force, took him back to New York, tried him, put him in federal prison for his crimes. And I don't know who the leadership was in Panama, but I bet they danced to our tune after that. That's the same thing they're doing in Venezuela. Venezuela can't export oil right now, crude oil, because our Navy is there. And our Navy's not going to leave. So we're going to refine oil at some sort of, it's going to be ours. We're taking the oil.
You can't imagine blowback? You can't imagine blowback
How?
for this? It's a country of, well, first of all, I mean, Venezuela, I think, has like 32 million people in it, but we're also talking about like broader Latin America. You can't imagine provoking a kind of anti-Western imperialist movement that would come from this, and
not one that because I mean, they can be mean on Twitter and shit.
No,
they're very happy on like Latin America is overwhelmingly stoked on getting rid of Maduro because
there's a lot of people are. I mean, he was brutal. He was
horrible.
He killed illegitimate.
There's
illegitimate. He ran over people with tanks who were protesting, and also 8 million people over the past 13 years during his reign have fled. That pisses off surrounding countries because they're like, the fuck, like we have to take this. And so like the only concern I have, which I said on PKA, so I'll keep it brief, is a migrant crisis. I don't want an additional migrant crisis from this because if you recall, in 2022, the Biden administration arrested the president of Honduras on narco charges in Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras. And after they arrested him, it created a migrant problem. And that is the only concern I have. I was very worried about bombing Iran turning into a big war. And that's why I'm against it. I'm still against any Iran stuff because I don't see a benefit for the US there much.
That's an Israeli war.
That's like for Israel. Like it doesn't benefit us. So I don't want to fight Iran.
It affects us a little bit as far as the way Iran might fund anti-Western terror organizations, not just Hezbollah, who's there in Palestine, but some sort of Al-Qaeda splinter group or something like that. I always worry about Iran funding that and giving them some fucking irradiated materials and them being in a fucking shipping container in San Francisco, detonating a dirty bomb on the Golden Gate Bridge and making the most financially dense area in the planet an irradiated wasteland for 16 years.
The most catastrophic mistake that the Bush administration made was a complete lack of thought about how to move forward after Saddam was gone. Like they just, and all the investigations they did and all the post-mortem analyses, they just had no plan. And it seems like Donald Trump, hang on real quick. I'm going to tie into this thing. It seems like Donald Trump is in a similar position because you had the opposition leader, her name was Machado, I think. And technically, she lines up with American interests more than the VP that was just sworn in. But Trump passed on her reportedly because she was salty that she won the Nobel Peace Prize and didn't give it to him. That seems like
she doesn't have respect.
You guys can't imagine this action of. This is just pure conquest of like taking that oil.
They're already making deals.
You can't imagine a movement springing up in Latin America that would become radicalized and do some kind of terrorist attack in the United States?
I can because when you act like an asshole, you find yourself unpopular and isolated. And I don't think you can base right versus wrong or good versus bad based on what's good for me. I could take a gun to downtown Raleigh and mug people and say, hey, it's good for me, therefore I support it. But it doesn't make it good. And in the long term, I'll be isolated and in trouble. If we just go and mug a country like Venezuela and take all their oil, it might be nice in the short term. Sure, I have somebody else's wallet. In the long term, though, you're the bad guy and you're globally isolated, and it's a problem.
I don't think that's
because they don't have any
realistic.
friends.
We've seen
Venezuela doesn't have any
so
friends.
many
Nobody
times
cares
in
what we're doing in
history.
Venezuela. If we fuck with Greenland, then I'm on your page. If we fuck with Greenland, we upset NATO, we upset Europe. That's a different page. They don't care about what we do in South America. They know that that's ours because that's been ours since the 50s. Every single government down there, we either buy, break, or bribe, or whatever you want to call it. Every single one of those governments, we have our fingers in a pot. Whether that's right or wrong or not, doesn't matter because we don't get to be policymakers. It's what we do as the United States of America.
But it has happened several times in history that we go in, impose our will, depose some leader, install some loyalist, and then the country devolves into chaos. Happened in Iran. It's happened in Central and South America several times all throughout history.
So we're not responsible for Iran, are we?
I'm talking about the Iranian installing. No, I mean Iran. I mean they installed the Shah. They installed the Shah, and then in the late 70s there was a fucking revolution, and then look where we are now.
But you know the difference. So I think it's important to point out that the huge difference in Venezuela is when we took down Saddam Hussein, we took down the entire Ba'athist party and everyone who was affiliated with it. You had to be in the Ba'athist party to be in the government. So basically, we fired every government official who knew what they were doing and barred them from ever holding office again. Not down to the dog catchers. Then we did the same thing to their police forces and security forces
who
and
were armed
police
who were armed
and who were armed. Now all those guys are without a job and looking for a new career, and there's no one to replace them. We couldn't have fucked it's almost like we did it on purpose. Maybe we did. It's like I have a hard time believing we're that stupid and bad at it. I don't know which it is. Either we're incredibly negligent and stupid in that move.
That was incompetence.
Or, oh my God, you ruined them on purpose. You created that insurgency to sell weapons and make a forever war over here. Maybe they did that. I could believe our government's that evil. But in South America and Venezuela, we didn't tear down the government. We took the king off the board and the queen stepped up. The vice president's running that country right now, and presumably remaining in power under a contiguous government that we can now boss around because they know that we'll come and fucking grab you if you don't.
Yeah. And that's good for America geopolitically. And it depends on the framing of the argument, because opposition to things like this, intervention that actually benefits America, where it's like, oh, well, we'll seem like the bad guys and this and that. That's not how great power politics work. It's not how diplomacy works. It's not how, geopolitics works. Like, it just comes down to two different discussions. If you want to talk about the morality of it and the implications of that, sure. But if you want to talk about like the predictions and ability to ascertain what we're likely to next do, like, you need to think about great power politics, not, but we're going to see no.
But you could use this rationale.
Russia invaded.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You could use this rationale to invade and depose like anyone. Like you could use this. I mean, it would benefit us if we, did that to Canada. If it would benefit us if we did that to Mexico. Like,
it comes down to power, though. Like I see a lot of morons on the internet saying things like, "Oh, so they can just arrest Trump when he goes to France now," and it's like,
try.
No, because that's not how power dynamics work. Oh, so Bangladesh can just invade China and depose Xi Jinping? No. The only defining factor there is power and the ability to project power, influence globally.
Right. We could do that to a lot of different countries. Sure. Right.
We clearly
almost all of them.
Think about because Russia. Think about during the Ukraine war. Russia, on at least one occasion, maybe two, tried to do a Delta Force thing to Zelensky. Mm-hmm. What prevented that?
Yeah.
They failed because they weren't adept enough. They all got murdered by Zelensky's guard or whatever. Like, they try that thing. The limiting factor is, for every other great power, China and Russia, is capacity. Not will. If China wakes up tomorrow with a 10 times stronger military, they don't take Taiwan. They take the whole planet. Like, they are limited by will. We are the only, or they are limited by capacity. We are the only superpower that we've self-imposed a limit of will over the past, really ever since Carter in the 80s.